Hello and welcome back to Jackknives Reviews. I'm of course your host, Jackknives. Today we'll be looking at the new horror thriller, Companion. Jack and his girlfriend Iris are invited to a remote cabin by an eccentric billionaire. Jack wants to use this opportunity to have Iris take him out. Iris, however, has to fight herself and Jack's dark secret about her to get free. I originally saw the teaser for Companion, and it seemed interesting enough. The only downside is it said from the producers of Barbarian. In full transparency, I hated Barbarian. Not necessarily for the reasons a lot of people may think. The subject matter wasn't too gross, and the concepts, though stupid, didn't really deter me. What I really hated about that movie was it just felt like the buildup wasn't worth the payoff. And it just left a irritating taste in my mouth. And it felt like they were trying to tell too many stories at once. But that's Barbarian. Let's talk about Companion. Companion is written and directed by Drew Hancock, who is pretty much an unknown. The biggest claim to fame, I guess you could say, is he directed a couple of episodes of Jimmy Kimmel Live and 2 episodes of Fred the Show. Yeah, so not high hopes for his credits. Although, to be fair, the movie itself was actually shot really well. It seemed like the direction as far as visuals was actually pretty good. The effects are pretty decent, and overall it did feel that there was pieces of it that worked. The problem is the script is so dumb. Unfortunately, the movie only works if you don't know the twist, but they give you the twist at the beginning of the movie. Within 5 minutes of the movie, everything is revealed to you, and you pretty much know what's going to happen. What I mean by that is they think they're being clever and making you think, ooh, it's going to go this way, and you'll never see it coming, but it's like, no, you know exactly what's going to come. It's kind of like watching a Scooby-Doo episode where it's always the first person they meet. Literally the first person that says, you shouldn't go down that road. You're like, okay, he's the killer. Fair enough. I will go over spoilers in a minute, but I did want to go over some of the other issues I had without giving anything away. First of all, the characters' dynamics, well, Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher have zero chemistry. It feels as though they're in 2 separate movies. Jack Quaid's character feels more like he's in a teen comedy, something akin to Van Wilder. And Sophie Thatcher feels more like she's in, I don't know, like something from the 80s, like like one of those kind of science fiction shows from the 80s. It's hard to really get, like something out of maybe Outer Limits. It just feels weird. Like it feels like the concepts and the things they were trying to go for, the pieces seemed like they were there, but they didn't know how to connect them properly. So they just half-assed everything together. So I am going to get into spoilers, but before I do, I will put a timestamp here, so that way you know when to skip. So the big twist, which is revealed to at the beginning of the movie, is that Sophie Thatcher is a sex bot. And not only is she a sex bot, she's a sex bot programmed by Jack Quaid. And his master plan is to have her murder this millionaire. They were invited to his cabin or his estate. So he wants to have his sex robot kill him. She doesn't know she's a sex robot. So he has to basically reboot her brain repeatedly, and it's just it's so stupid. It basically feels like if you took Short Circuit and Ex Machina and you didn't understand either of them and you basically were told to write a script within 2 days. That's pretty much this movie. It's irritating because once you know her character is a robot, you have zero investment at all. It almost reminds me a little bit of a bad version of Westworld. There's elements that were happening in that show where you know the characters were robots and you start still caring for them because they're starting to develop beyond their limitations. And it's a slow burn, but you start feeling more relatable to them. This, there's nothing. You're just expected to care. You're expected to give a shit. You can't do that to an audience. You can't make them care. You can't make them want to care. So when anything bad happens, you don't really care. The effects are decent, but lack of chemistry, the lack of buildup, the lack of shocks, and overall, just feels like it's going to be forgettable in 10 years. If you have the choice, don't see this movie. I give Companion 1 out of 5. Have you seen Companion? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, I'll see you next time.